morning, everyone. Well, I am supposed to represent the University of Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, my Vice Chancellor could not make it, and he was sure that he would be here, but at the last moment he could not come. And it was also too late to arrange for anyone more senior than me to grace the occasion. I'm very sorry about that, but it was something unforeseen. So he had his speech, I don't have it. So what I'm going to do is to probably move out of his shoes and talk from the position of the organizer of the conference of the workshop on behalf of my colleagues whom I worked with, and also talk on behalf of ROCAT researchers in Zimbabwe, because I'm one of the ROCAT researchers in Zimbabwe. I can see my other colleagues who are working on that. So I think those are the shoes that I'm going to put on, because the Vice Chancellor's shoes are too big for me. I'm going to just briefly talk about the organization of the workshop. This workshop is a culmination of discussions between University of Zimbabwe, National Museums and Monuments. We have a memorandum of understanding to work together on matters of archaeology and cultural heritage in Zimbabwe. So we have worked together for many years, and we usually collaborate on a lot of projects, and this is one of them. Last year we hosted, as Zimbabwe, we hosted the biannual conference on Southern African archaeologists, and when we organized that, we then realized that a gap in the region, in Zimbabwe in particular, on ROCAT conservation, and that is probably where the discussions on the workshop began, together with, for the biannual conference, we got support. Again, I'm happy to say that we got support from UNESCO, we got support from the French Embassy, and through that support, we were able to host the biannual conference. And from that, from the discussions there, we then went on to talk about ROCAT conservation, and to then go back to our partners, UNESCO and the French Embassy, to say, is it possible for us to come together again and host a workshop that is particularly on ROCAT conservation? Why did we choose ROCAT conservation? Mainly because in Zimbabwe we have a lack of skills in ROCAT conservation. In Zimbabwe we have what I usually call, when I teach my students, ROCAT management, whereby we just go to the sites and we look after them. Sometimes we put up a local custodian at the site, and we do the minimum. But I believe, and my colleagues, we believe that ROCAT conservation, from interacting with others on the international scene, ROCAT conservation is beyond just management. It's a science. It is science. It is science, because you have to test what is happening at a site. It is site specific. You have to know what is happening at a site, and then take necessary procedures to conserve the site. But we don't really have that in Zimbabwe. This is mainly the background from where we are coming from. And then we also realized, as I said, this was mooted during the ASAPA conference, which is a regional conference. We also realized that our problems or our lack of skills is not limited to Zimbabwe. It is a regional issue. This is why we considered it a regional workshop. So this is a short, probably short background to the workshop. We then worked with our partners, UNESCO and the French Embassy, to come up with a program which is, today is the culmination of those discussions, and we got support again, and I hope the support will continue. It is not ending today. I'm hopeful that we are going to take this as a first step towards working on other more specific sites, probably, and take steps to be to conserve our rock art with using world class approaches, not the basic approaches that we are doing. I'm sorry, Dr. Maachi, that I'm calling our approaches basic, but I think from this workshop we probably will realize that we can do more, much more than what we are doing now. And I'm hopeful that our colleagues from the region will also benefit from that, and you will also see that you can apply more approaches and probably learn from what others are doing. The French embassy was really good enough to engage us and offer us to arrange for a French expert to come here. We know that from those who work with rock art, we know that the French have a long history of rock art conservation, and they have the approaches that are more scientific and more humanistic, because rock art conservation is not just about the science, but it's also about how you engage with the people around the rock art sites. So their approaches will probably benefit us a lot. This is why we were happy to get an expert from France. I also want to talk about the university. I think the universities, at first the workshop was supposed to be just for people working with rock art in national institutions, cultural institutions like the national museums and monuments. And of course, I was part of the organization and the negotiations, I had to negotiate for the universities to be included, because the universities are the ones who teach people who then go to work for these national institutions, especially here in Zimbabwe. So in that case, it is better to empower the universities, and so that the knowledge can then be imparted to the next generation. This is especially important for Zimbabwe, because we have realized that in the past we had people who were trained on rock art conservation, but unfortunately with our recent economic problems, we have lost those skills to other countries. So it is important for us to continue to empower others who will come in and work for our national institutions, so that we won't have the gap that we have at the moment. I hope and I know that from our discussions with national museums, they are also going to come up with programs to empower people, their staff, as we go forward. From this workshop, they are going to put in mechanisms such that they can empower other people who did not attend this. So I think that is why we have the lecturers who I hope will benefit so much from this. I'm a lecturer, so I can go on and on. I think I will have to stop here. Thank you.